Hi, I'm not going to apologise for the naughty clickbait nature of the intro to this video, which in all honesty would probably not have appealed to many people anyway. Plus the fact a good percentage of those seeing it would have realised this was a clickbait because it's on YouTube and such smut would not be allowed. Understanding this, I'll also upload a second video with the same main content which has nothing to do with playful cats, and use a more conventional preview thumbnail as well for those people worried about that initial porny looking invitation. My videos on average receive tens of views. The subject matter of my channel should be learned by millions, particularly some of the technologies in use to track, harass and secretly spy on people like me. But whether nefarious strategies, including shadow banning, are in use, or my misplaced humour and amateurish look the reason, truth of the matter is, my videos are hardly being watched. This extremely serious topic demands not only your attention, but action to pressurise the police and government for answers. If you're new to this little known targeting program, which has remained hidden from the public for at least 30 years, I'll talk briefly on it, but the point of this video is to bring to your attention one of the more spooky components concerning covert spying and provide you with some evidence. It really is quite surreal, and you'll have to ask yourself, why am I being allowed to obtain proof of something so out there and surreal? I'm both undeniably privileged to be able to capture the manifestation of such classified technology, but I'm also horrified too because of what it represents in the form of invisible spying. With regard to my evidence on this aspect in my targeting, the individual clips could be randomised and they'll always hear the same, and if you are unable to hear these disembodied voices, then I can only conclude this or any other of my evidence-based videos are somehow being tampered with. I discount nothing regarding this global targeting program, and if you consider these covert operations have stayed under the radar for so long, you should understand why I say this. I can trace the onset of my targeting to 2009, which is when I became acutely aware I was the guinea pig being singled out for targeted noise campaigns and targeted sleep interruptions every day and night by a new tenant and his accomplices living in the flat below. It took over 3 years before I discovered other components of this targeting program. They include my being tracked by strangers outside, deniable verbal harassment again from strangers, a character assassination or smear campaign which has successfully led to my leper status here in Peckham and beyond, and I've also got unexplained joint pains, burning sensations and strange aches in which the medical profession can offer no answers. I've also developed veins snaking across my legs and feet, and also on my head, which I never had prior to learning about these extrajudicial operations. These elements, common for many targets around the globe, form this relatively unknown targeting program. I do have evidence of the verbal abuse and occasional threats from strangers outside, and this evidence can be watched both on YouTube and BitChute. But it's the covert spying with male and female voices, and some of those sounding electronic, all of unknown origin, that is the focus of this video. Those other secretly selected lab rats are, from what I can gather, ordinary people. 3 things for you to bear in mind should you wish to delve further into this online is the disinformation, misinformation and lack of good evidence. The disinformation could include fake targets, making ludicrous claims, and shape-shifting reptilians is one that never fails to amuse me. But there are powerful people and organisations trying to ensure this program never reaches the public, and our system seems to be infected with corruption and complicity, and are helping keep the truth from breaking out of conspiracy territory where it's been confined for all these years. So, dear viewer, you are vital in bringing to light the truth and horror of these targeting operations. What I require of you is your time. You'll need a very quiet space in order to listen to the various pieces of evidence within this video. Evidence of those voices with no obvious origin. I've added text of what I believe is said to most of the short video clips that follow, and the time I hear these disembodied voices, and I hope the timeline is accurate for you as it is for me. I've also added clips where I'm not sure what's being said, and I've left them intentionally blank, but have included the time that I hear any voice or voices. I've never listened to any of my recordings on a mobile phone. All my watching and listening is via a laptop. So if you are using a phone, I hope that it'll be able to output sufficient volume and clarity when listening, and please use earphones because without them you won't hear those spooky voices. I should warn you that, as with the verbal harassment outside, the words and phrases are abusive, so if disparaging or defamatory words and phrases cause anxiety or upset, then please do not continue watching this video. Okay, I think it's time to show my evidence. I'll repeat that I hope the timeline is accurate, and more importantly, that you hear these invisible voices. Please take your time and do watch these clips in a quiet area, away from any type of distraction. You will probably need to attune your ears to the various voices heard, and I recommend you replay each multiple times until you're quite sure what you hear tallies with what I believe is said. I hope you're now sitting comfortably and have earphones on. Here is my evidence, and please take your time listening to it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. A bit earlier now.
In finishing, I'll thank Mrs. D for her excellent help narrating this video, but you'll have to put up with my dreary monotone voice for a few minutes. If you heard much of what I state I hear in my evidence, then is this not one of the strangest things you've ever witnessed and heard? The use of mostly abusive words and phrases just makes this an extraordinarily weird extension to the verbal harassment outside, the stalking by strangers outside, and use of hardware to covertly and visibly harm me when I'm in the flat, and those burning sensations of sleep-waking aches affecting me as I sleep in the car now as well. I'm neither a confident nor forthright person, and even under such intense duress at times, I still can't overcome these traits sufficiently to shout to the world about this global targeting program, though it doesn't help when mainstream media, the police and others connive, remain silent or cover up the reality that are these torturous and illegal operations which are being sanctioned from high places. At a local level, the residents here in Peckham ignore my flyer campaigns, ignore me when they're not otherwise being sneakily abusive, and though they could have been a key part in exposing part of my targeting, decide instead to remain idiotically silent. I really can't do much else now. I've good evidence and I've some surreal evidence, but I'm surrounded by a wall of silence. So it really does fall on you, the viewer, to seek answers from those organisations, including the government, about why they are sanctioning this targeting program, one where classified technologies are being used and trialled on us guinea pigs. Are you really willing to ignore this when you might also have hidden eyes watching your every move within the sanctity of your own home? These unknown technologies seem light years ahead of our current, almost prehistoric view of what's available.